professional. So, much like we did with, the El Raymond Tavern and I believe Pittsburgh Powder Coat, we have, development midstream or whatever on Finnegal El Raymond Road. It is the gentleman who's in the next item, which is Michael Mance, to meet with TJ and Tammy to get together and become compliant. So this is kind of a similar ask as Pittsburgh Powder Coat and El Raymond Tavern, issued building permits, no land development, paid WESA $500 in tap and water sewer thing, and WESA did not advise him that that is our sewer line, and that he has to pay a tap-in fee, that he's already got it covered with dirt. It's very far along for not following that.
Is S and T the same deal?
So T is, he is asking now, even though he's asking now to get a permit to tap into our system. He went down to El Rama and paid them, WESA. He went down to WESA and paid them $500. The problem is WESA's not to take the $500. They're supposed to get an application from us, an approval from us, and then that person takes it down to WESA, and then WESA charges them their conveyance. Somehow he went down to WESA, and WESA charged them their $500 without any approvals from Union Township.
So it's a problem that Union Township has with WESA, not with Mr. Mance.
Not with Mr. Mance. He did go down there on that particular issue.
Yeah.
He did go down there. I will tell you, this isn't his first house, and he has done the process before, but this time it's a little bit different for some reason. But nonetheless, this is to allow him to sit down with our professionals the way we did for Susie Grimm and for Mr. Caraselli. So, I will tell you that they sat down with them. It's kind of just a forgoing the fees dealing with, since he seemed to get some building permits before he got, somebody issued a building permit without the land development.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Richard. She was getting up to go. She lives up there. She walks here. No, she doesn't. Okay, so if so, maybe Richard will take it. Okay, so, this is to authorize that meeting in township expense. I'll make that motion. Any seconds?
Second.
Just make sure whenever you do the bill for that meeting, that you don't do it under the escrow thing, so she doesn't accidentally. So all in favor? Aye.
I didn't have a second.
What?
You made the motion, who seconded?
Carl, I thought. No, Larry did. Larry did.
Larry made the motion.
I made the motion, Larry second.
Yeah.
Okay, discussion and motion to authorize Michael Mance to tap into the El Rama storage system following the township rules and regulations, contingent on all necessary agreements and fees and costs paid to the township. So he'll have to do an agreement. There is some thought, but we don't have it all done because I just had the meeting, that he's coming through an easement through another property and stuff, so we'll need easements for that and so forth, but,
Yeah, I have a question about that, by the way.
okay.
So apparently the sewer line that he's running to service that property goes through the property that's owned by the pharma store, the convenience store there, which is interesting to me. And we had a similar situation with Pittsburgh Powder Coat before Bankston was the township engineer, but on that instance where the sewer passed through another property to reach because there was no frontage on the sanitary sewer main,
Yeah.
there was an easement dedicated, not just between those two property owners, but
the
Union
township.
Township took that over, and that sewer was built to Union Township specifications. So,
And that was
I'm
even though
almost
Mr.
suspicious that
Caraselli
it's-
owned both pieces of property.
right, I'm almost suspicious that the same situation will apply here, considering this property owner has to pass through somebody else's
And-
property to reach the main.
And that's why I put all necessary agreements and fees, cause I'm kind of believing that might be the case as well.
So his sewer line passes from the trunk line through property owned by John Doe
Mhm.
to access his property.
That's it.
He's gotta run his pipe through someone else's property, but ultimately it becomes our, like, we have to get in there to repair if something happens. And so Pittsburgh Powder Coat, to my knowledge, did an easement for Union
Why,
Township.
but he taps into our trunk line.
But that's the problem, then. His parcel has no frontage on the sewer main. So he has to run his building lateral from his building
Like the Seggies have.
across the adjacent property to his main. There's no way for him to tap in on his property. So in my experience, that portion that, goes across that person's private property would be a public sewer line, which is dedicated to the public.
What type of line? How big, what's the diameter of the line?
I don't know that, but normally it's 8 inch.
He only put in a 6 inch.
Whatever.
Well, that's something we can just, like, the motion does have in there, contingent upon all necessary agreements and fees and
All right.
costs.
But
I
if
mean,
it's
we're gonna
2 inch
have
line,
to
what do
get
we
some
do?
sort of diagram and,
I don't know. But on Pittsburgh Powder
Does he
Coat,
have an agreement to cross that other person's property?
Should have.
He
he
ha-
says he has an agreement, but
he
he
has
hasn't
an
given one to us,
easement that's
you know,
recorded,
like-
yes.
We put one there, Dennis, with your stuff you gave us.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
You'll have to review it, but on Pittsburgh Powder Coat, the sewer that Pittsburgh Powder Coat cut across another property. And that sewer on the other property is contained within a 20-foot easement, which got dedicated to Union Township.
Now, Harshman made them, Harshman was the one that did that
Yeah.
thing. Even though Mr. Caroselli owned the other parcel, there's always a chance he sells that.
Right.
So he ran through his parking lot, and it was deemed at the time by Harshman and the board that they needed an easement, even though he owned both.
So to
And he
make,
did it.
to make a long story short, we need to look at his easement and get to the bottom of the
That's in the
sewage
back.
situation, because I think there's a potential conflict there.
With the problem, with the property he's cutting across, is that the easement you're looking at?
So you get, it's in our packets or my packet?
It's in your packet, we just received it this evening.
So, the other thing is he has to sign the agreement on the debt service and so forth, that
Yep.
he needs to sign that he knows that even if water's not running, it's a continual bill. So,
I don't have it, so
I'll make
I'll
the,
find it. Okay, we'll talk
I
about
got a
it.
copy for you.
I'll make the motion contingent on, after the professionals deem that all necessary. It was asked to be put on the agenda by Tammy, because they're trying to get this,
The sewer line finished before winter.
yeah, he's already in, he went to WESA, got a permit from them. and
I
started it.
have it. It's this, it's the,
That's it, yeah.
all right, I'll look at it.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to authorize the tap in after the agreements and necessary agreements and fees and costs are all paid to the township. Whatever our professionals deem necessary.
Second.
Okay, that's me and Larry. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're getting